Good evening everyone, this is Tanvir from Sydney PT Study Center. Welcome to this mini lesson video today. Today I will talk about reorder paragraph, one of the tasks of your reading section. Now, lots of students find it very difficult and find it very time consuming to solve reorder paragraph. Now, I will show you some golden rules which would help you to solve reorder paragraph very quickly. Expectedly less than 1.5 minutes. So the 7 golden rules, I'll show you this first. Number 1, object of first sentence becomes subject of the second. Sometimes last phrase, that means few words of the last part of the sentence, can become your first phrase of the next sentence. Number 2, both the sentences of a pair carry the same word or same types of word. Number 3, earlier events come first in your reorder paragraph, so it's a sequence of events. So your past comes first, then present, then future. Position of the article. Number 4, we use article to specify our subject, and the flow of the text in your reorder paragraph will be from general to specific. We use articles to specify our subject, so if there is no article before a subject, that will be your first sentence, and if there is an article, that comes later. And in terms of the sequence of the articles, it's a or an, then the or the, and then that or this. Number 5, full name comes before the surname or short name. Number 6, sentence starts with pronoun or discourse markers or examples will never be your first sentence. So you can omit that from being considered your first sentence. Number 7, finish talking about one topic, then address another. So if there are 2 topics in a reorder paragraph, you have to finish talking about one, then address the other one. Now let's solve some reorder paragraphs using these strategies. Okay, so here is the first one. So what I do first, I'm quickly skimming and scanning for 10 to 15 seconds, or let's say 20 seconds, to find some keywords. Okay, so as I can see, MIT researchers have developed a design of a system. So they have done something, they have developed some system. Ultimately, my second sentence starts with, so it will never be my first sentence. Number C says, even the internal structures, talks about structures. Number D, structures built with this system. Now I have got some word clues. Look, my first sentence has a system, so I can highlight that. My last sentence has this system. Remember in the article rules, I told that articles are used to specify your subject. Now A is less specific than this, right? So A system comes first, then this systems. So A and D is a pair. So you can write down your answer here, for example. Answer. Sorry. Your first is A, then D. Okay, now I have got another word clue here. It has structures to start with. I can highlight that, let's say on blue, sky blue, and this sentence says the internal structure. Okay, so it has structures and this sentence has the internal structures. So internal, you can just place it in the bracket, so structures and the structures. So as it has the article before the subject, you know that this comes later. So C comes after D, right? So C comes after D, and B is the remaining sentence, which starts with ultimately, so it's the concluding sentence. So that's your answer, A, D, C, B. Now let's start number 2. The elephants notice the drones. That means obviously something happened before, so they notice the drones. So somebody, maybe there's someone came with drones to the elephants. Number B says the elephants reacted so strongly. Obviously it's a sequence of events. They noticed the drones, then they reacted. Alright, number C says only things didn't exactly go as planned. That means somebody planned something, right? So number D says earlier this year. Look at this phrase, earlier this year. So it's the earliest event, so that comes first. What happened in that year is somebody came to monitor the elephants. Okay, so they took along 3 drones with them. So this is my first sentence. You can see 3 drones. Okay, and this is the earliest events. And then what happened? In terms of the sequence of events, the elephants noticed the drones. That's my second sentence. Okay, and then they reacted. Just ask yourself, they cannot react before they notice the drones. So they noticed the drones and then they reacted. Okay, only things didn't exactly go as planned. So now how would you and where would you place this sentence? Only things didn't go exactly as planned means somebody made some plan before that didn't go as they planned, right? So this is the plan. They wanted to monitor something, right? So they wanted to monitor something in D. That's my answer now. D. Then the only thing that didn't go exactly, the only things didn't exactly go as planned. So that's my C. So why it didn't go exactly as planned? Because the elephants noticed the drones. And after they noticed the drones, they reacted. So it's a term of events. Reacted is number B. Okay, so from past to present, the earliest event was somebody made a plan to monitor them. They took drones with them. Next event, the elephants, they noticed it. Third event, they reacted strongly. All right. Now let's do number 3. Okay. A starts with however. Look, others however. So as I said, if a sentence starts with a discourse marker, that cannot be your first sentence. Okay. An evolving group may have reached a stage. Look, it can be your first sentence. Number C, today, many years later. That means something happened before. Number D, okay, paleontologists still argue about origins of major groups. Okay, now if you scan further, you can see some word clues here. I can find sparse, okay, which is a subject. Let's say make it blue. And I have found a part here. Remember the article rules? Now I have an article before the subject, so I know that B has to come after number A. Okay. Now look at C and D. Is there any word clues? Yes, I have found some word clues here. Look at these transitional forms and transitional forms. So same words. So these two make a pair, right? Now out of C and D, which comes first? Now if you can see the timing here, number C says today. That means it's happening now. And number D says since Darwin's time. Now ask yourself, which one happened first? Obviously, since Darwin's time is the earlier event. Okay. Now your answer is D, then C. Okay, now the only two sentences which are remaining here is A and B, and I know A comes before B because of the article rules. A and B. Okay, so now you only have looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words, and you can give the answer of that. Okay, then let's solve number 4. It says Eros set out. That means Eros is a name. Okay, one day Aphrodite. So Aphrodite is another person. Okay. So number C says he was a blonde and playful winged youth. So he is referring Eros. Okay. So who is Eros? Number D says who is Eros. Eros was the son of Aphrodite. So number D actually introduced your subject. Introduced Eros and Aphrodite both. So there is no doubt that number D is your first sentence. Now it says Eros in number D. Then number C uses a pronoun, he. That means this pronoun is referring Eros from number D. So C is your next sentence. Then one day Aphrodite told something to Eros, and then Eros set out to do something. There is another clue between A and B. There is another name, Psyche. Okay, as you can see, both the sentences have the same name, so these two are a pair, there is no doubt. Okay, now Psyche, the name of the girl, she has been introduced in number B. Okay, so B comes first and then A. So looking at these 4 words, you can give your answer. Moving on to number 5. Okay, number A, the first sentence says Sojourner has now been effectively switched off. Has now been effectively means it has been introduced before. Okay, now which sentence has the word? Just scan through it. Okay, scan through the sentences, and I found here a rover called Sojourner. So that's my subject, right? It introduced me with the subject here. Now obviously, as it's the same name in two sentences, so this is the strongest word clue. So I got my first pairs. My first pair is C and A. Now what about the rest two? B and D. Now is there any word clue? Yes, there is. I found another word here. Look, lasted and lasted. Similar words, same words, gives you the strongest word clue. So I know B is coming after A, right? So B is coming after A. Now the only sentence which is remaining is D. Now how do you actually verify whether BD is a pair or not? Look, you will find some word clues between B and D as well. My B has the landing site. Let's make it green. And D also has the landing site. So you can verify that actually you're right. Okay, so my answer is CABD. Now let's go to number 6. If Canada implements a carbon price on its own, it's a conditional sentence. Okay, let's read the other one. Even if, look, my first sentence has if, second sentence starts with even if. Now ask yourself, if two sentences have if and even if in two sentences, which sentence comes first? Obviously if comes first, then even if, right? So you can say, for example, okay, if I did this, and the second sentence, even if I did this, something happened. Okay, so number C says there are, however, cannot be your first sentence because of however. Number D says there is a growing consensus. Okay, now I have got some word clues here. Number D says there is, and number C says there are, however, right? So obviously C is referring back from number D. So I got my answer here. D and then C. And like I said, if and even if. Okay, as you can see, both the sentences started with if and even if. You know that if comes first, then even if. Okay, so A and then B. So looking at these 4 words, you can give your answer. Okay, if you're very good with the word clue, it takes even less than a minute to solve. Now let's do number 7. Cold packs used for treating sports injuries. Okay, so I know my subject, cold packs. When the pack is broken. So now look at the word clues, cold packs and pack. Okay, number C says when it is mixed. So something is mixed. What is that something? Number D said sherbet is a mixture of baking soda and citric acid. So now that's my subject. Okay, sherbet. So it's yellow, and when it is mixed, that is a pronoun. It is a pronoun, is referring back to that noun. Another clue is mixture and mixed. Look. Same word or similar types of words. So I know my first pair is D and then C. Okay, now remaining 2 sentences has cold packs and packs. Okay, so obviously as we know that full length comes first, then the short thing. Another clue is the pack. So we use an article before the subject, so obviously article comes later. So you know my pair is A and B. Okay, so looking at those 4 words, you can give your answer. Now let's do another one. Number 8. Young children don't possess these qualities. So I don't know which qualities yet. Okay, so something is referred back. Number B. Because they can't be reasoned with. Now because, so obviously cannot be your first sentence. And there is no clue between these 2. Number C. Okay, so Jean Briggs has worked with the Inuit of the Canadian Arctic. Okay, so this gentleman has done something. Looks like a very general statement. Okay, so this could be my first sentence. Now the clue between this sentence and the other one is this. growing up. So he's talking about growing up kids. Okay, and young children don't possess these qualities. So young children are the growing up kids, the similar types of word. Okay, so I got my first pair here, which is C and A. Now what about B and C? Okay, your D says it's only when they are older. Okay, so what happens? So when they get older, it's a future term, right? So your present tense comes before future tense, or present event comes before the future event in your reorder paragraph as a sequence of event. So obviously your B will come before D. So the next pair is B and D. Alright? Okay, what is there in number 9? Okay, so most come from just the last few million years. So most come from just, so obviously something was told before, right? And we can see there is a period of time here, 75 million to 70 million years ago. Number B also tells me a period of time, which is 145 million to 65 million years ago. So ask yourself, which one was the earlier event, 75 million years ago or 145? Obviously 145 million years ago. So B has to come before A, okay? C says nevertheless, so it cannot be your first sentence, starts with a discourse marker. Number D says no one has yet excavated a complete dinosaur skeleton. Now I've got another word clues here, look. I have got skeleton here and skeleton here, right? So both the sentences have the word skeletons. Now, as one sentence starts with nevertheless, obviously that's not the first sentence of the pair, right? So my first pair is D and C, right? Because of the word clue skeleton, and C starts with a discourse marker. So that's my second sentence. Now what about A and B? Okay, obviously like I said, 145 million years ago, that's the earlier event. So your answer is B and A. Now there is one more word clue here. Look at this. Number C has the word 8 types. Okay, even B starts with all 8 types or 8 date. Okay, so remember the first rule, object became a subject of the next sentence. So that's why C and B is a pair, right? Look at the middle pair, C and B. So yes, then again, you're looking at 4 words, you can give the answer. Number 10. There, she completed a diploma. So I don't know who is this she. Like I said, if a sentence starts with a pronoun, it cannot be your first sentence. B. Now in her 3rd year of study. Okay, now I've got a bit of clue here. My first sentence says 2nd year student. Okay. My third sentence says in her 3rd year of study. Now which one happened before? When she was in 2nd year, or now as she is in 3rd year? Obviously when she was in 2nd year, that's the earlier event. So your A comes before E, there is no doubt about that. Now what about C and D? C says Ni, an international student, so it's a short name. Okay. Number D says mechanical engineering student Ni Tan, so it's a full name, right? So as far as the golden rule is concerned, your full name comes before the short name. And I have got my first pair here. Number D and C. Okay, now it's the most general statement introduced to you with the subject Ni Tan, right? Then about A and B, we already have figured out that 2nd year student and 3rd year of study. Okay, obviously your 2nd year comes first, then 3rd year. Okay, another clue is it says now, that means it's the present event, it's happening now. So that's the latest event, so obviously it comes later than the other event. Okay. So looking at these 4 words, then again you can give your answer D, C, A, B. Okay, moving forward to number 11. Okay, Thailand's contribution. So I know it talks about Thailand, right? Contribution to basic science. So obviously it's going to talk something about basic science. Okay. Number B says established in 1991. So something was established. I don't know what's that. Number C says a major players. Okay, it talks about an agency named National Science and Technology Development. Number D says it's the world's second largest exporter. I don't know who, so it cannot be your first sentence. E says known for its resorts and Buddhist temples, Thailand is also a regional center of R&D and high-tech manufacturing. Okay, so now I've got my subject. It talks about Thailand, right? So I highlight that. Okay, and then Thailand is being referred as it by a pronoun. It's the world's second largest exporter. Okay, so I've got two clues between these two sentences, and then about the other two I also can, I should be able to find out some clues. Look at this, science and science. Okay, right, so I've got, okay, so it has to be, sorry, blue. Okay, alright, yeah, so as you know the answer, the first answer is, first sentence is E, then D. Okay, and then A talks about science, and then a major player is the state-backed National Science and Technology Development Agency. Okay. And obviously that agency was established in 1991. D is your last sentence. So your answer is C, D, A, C, B. You only had a look at just 4 words, that's it. Okay. Now number 12. Okay, once I scan this sentence, one of the most notable characteristics of modern study of classics. Okay, I got one word, classics. Number B, although, traditionally focused, although, so it starts with the discourse markers, it cannot be your first sentence. But one more thing, the sentence has does at the end, so it could be a very concluding statement. Okay. Okay. Number C says classics or classical studies is a branch of humanities. So now I've got my topic here, right? It talks about your classic studies or classical studies, right? So traditionally classics. Now I've got the similar words here, classics and classics. So there is no doubt that these two can make a pair. So obviously C and then D, right? So after these two sentences, I'm left out with the rest of the twos, right? And look, still I have the same words here, classics, right? So still it's carrying on, classics. And like I said, does, which is a very concluding remark. Okay, let's highlight that in pink. So obviously as classics from A and classics from D have the same word. Okay, so D and A is a pair. The only sentence left out is B, and there is also a concluding remark here. Actually, there is another clue. I can just notice it. Look at this clue: diversity of the field and expanding their studies. Okay, so there is one more word clue here. Okay, you can highlight that in, let's say, light pink. And expanding their studies. So expansion and diversity are more like similar types of words. Okay, so you can just add them as a pair. All right, so my answer is C, D, A, B. Okay. So number 13. Okay, one of the key challenges of such research. I don't know what research, so cannot be my first sentence. Number B, the researchers explored the physics behind the 2D states. Okay. C says all the researchers agreed. Okay. D says new two-dimensional quantum materials. Now I have got some word clues here. Look, two-dimensional and 2D. Now what's the short form? The short form is the numeric 2 and then D, right? So the full form is as it is being spelled, two-dimensional. So obviously the full form comes first, then your short form, 2D, alright? Okay, now let's talk about the other two remaining sentences. It says one of the key challenges, okay, and C says all the researchers agreed, okay? right? So they have found some challenges and then all the researchers agreed. Now just ask yourself, which happens first? Obviously you found some challenges and then they come into a conclusion or give an opinion, right? So in terms of the events, A happened before C, right? And also your C sounds like a very concluding statement. So A and C. Sorry. So here we go. It's your answer, D, B, A, C. Now let's do another one, number 14. Okay, when the RBI governor, okay, so it could be a keyword, RBI governor. Okay, so there was a twist, the notes, okay, talks about notes. What came out was, so something came out, okay, girl, okay. So I can see a gift wrap box. So these are the word clues, look. Number D says, the suspecting governor. Okay, so now I have got similar words actually. Number A and D, both the sentences have the word governor, right? Okay. Now, this governor is a full form. It has RBI before the governor, right? And this only has governor. So like I said, sorry. Your answer, right? So full form comes first, then the short form. Okay. Now between these two sentences, I have got another word clue, notes, and the notes. So I have an article before my subjects, which will come later on, right? So between B and C, I can note that the two will make a pair because of the word clues, because of having the same words, notes and notes. And B has an article before the subject, so B comes after C, right? So C, B is my next pair, right? Now look at this. If you read every sentence here, it actually makes sense. So somebody actually gave them a wrapped box, gave the governor a wrapped box, then they opened the box, then something came out from the box. Okay, so in terms of the sequence, it makes sense, right? But then again, it takes you less time if you just find out the word clues. Okay, so just make the pair. So looking at those four words, you can give your answer. Answer is A, D, C, B. Okay, so here is number 15 and possibly the last one today. Number 15 A starts with the Reverend Williams, so it talks about the Reverend Williams. Okay, let's see if we find this subject again later on. Highlight, okay, I'm not highlighting at the moment, so I know Reverend Williams, right? I've got NL here, another short form of name. Number C says he allowed his church. So he allowed his church, right? Okay, I've got a church here. So church and church, similar types of words, right? So sorry. Number D says Martin Luther King. Oh, now I've got the biggest clues. It's a full name, right? So Martin Luther King. And now I have short name in ML. In number B, I have a short name, right? Okay, so could be a pair D and B. Okay, still have to scan number 5. Okay, so as I'm scanning, I found another short name here, ML. Okay, now it's a bit tricky because you have got two short names in two sentences, right? So what you have to do in this case is just read the next 2 or 3 words. Okay, so now if you look at next 2, ML, as he was called, was born in 1929, and it says ML grew up in this atmosphere. So obviously, as I introduced Martin Luther King in number D, then he was born in 1929. That sentence makes more sense. Okay, so in terms of the event, right, he was born. So my answer. Okay, so before I give you the answer, you can see that the same name has come again. Reverend A.D. Williams, right? So I can highlight that name and that name as well. Okay, now ask yourself, this guy, this man, the Reverend Williams, okay, sorry, the Reverend Williams, he's been introduced in number E first, right? So obviously since the number A should come before number E, because I've got his name first in number E. Okay, so if you talk about Martin Luther King, D is your first sentence, then E. Okay, because this ML grew up in this atmosphere. I don't know what atmosphere it talks about here in number D. So E makes a pair with number D, right? So D and E is my first pair. Then, as E has this name, which is in the later half of the sentence, and it came in the first half of the sentence. So according to our 7 golden rules, according to the number 1, A comes after E, right? Okay, so I'm done with my first 3 sentences. That means first 2 pairs, DA and AE. All right, and then B and C, these 2 sentences are left, right? Okay, now after A we have a word church, word clue. Sorry, let's make it pink. And then we again have church here. So I know that because of having the same word, church and church, A and C can make a pair. Now which comes first? It has a name, the Reverend Williams, and this sentence starts with the pronoun he, right? So obviously A comes before C, right? So obviously A comes before C, so AC is a pair. The only sentence which is left out is B, which automatically comes at the end. Now if you want to verify, okay, so as I didn't verify about B, automatically comes at the end. So obviously if CB makes sense, that means your answer is right. Now look at C. If you just want to proofread, C says that he allowed his church and his home to be used as a meeting place for a number of organizations, right? And he allowed people to come and have a discussion about civil rights. And ML grew up in this atmosphere. Okay, so he grew up in the atmosphere of seeing people coming in and discussing about the human rights. Okay, all right, so that's how you give your answer, looking at those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words from a very long text, very long question. You can give your answer as D, E, S, C, B. Okay, so that's all about the demonstration for today, students. Okay, so there are more rules. To know about that, please come to the center, attend the class. Okay, in class we'll talk about more rules. Okay, remember, if you are good at the clues and if you just scan the words and find out the clues, it will be very easy and quicker for you to give answers of the reorder paragraphs. There is no more difficulties, and good luck with the practice. See you soon, guys. Thank you so much.